At a backyard barbecue. Jess, her closest friend, stared straight at me in front of the whole group and said, Amanda, seriously, this guy is such a loser. When are you finally going to upgrade? Amanda just laughed and shrugged. What? He does what he can. I didn't respond. I picked up my jacket, headed to my truck, and drove off while she stayed behind. 3 days later, she was online talking about how her boyfriend of 3 years had publicly ditched and humiliated her. It was supposed to be a simple, laid-back Saturday cookout at Mike and Emily's new place. Nothing fancy. Burgers on the grill, cold beers, fold-out chairs, and a mix of Amanda's old college friends. I've been to plenty of these. I'm not the loudest guy around. Never pretended to be. Name's Ryan, 36. I run a construction business I built from the ground up 10 years ago with nothing but a worn-out truck and a tool belt. Now I've got 20 employees, 6 figures worth of equipment, and jobs scheduled well into next summer. I show up early, stay late, pay my crew on time, and don't need anyone clapping for me. Amanda is 34, works in marketing, and thrives on being the one everyone notices. I always thought we balanced each other out. She brought the spark. I brought the solid footing. At least, that's what I used to think. Everything started out fine that night. I was at the grill with Mike, flipping steaks, while Amanda drifted around, socializing with her glass of wine. Jess showed up late. Naturally. I met her before and never loved the vibe, but Amanda always called her the ride or die, so I kept things cordial. That courtesy didn't last long. I was walking over to hand Amanda a fresh drink when Jess's voice cut through the noise, loud as day. Another summer gone without taking a real vacation. Girl, stop settling, Jess said. You're wasting your prime years on a guy whose biggest ambition is collecting more power tools. Amanda let out that awkward little laugh she does when she's uncomfortable. We're saving for a house. Ryan's business keeps him busy. Jess cut her off with an eye roll dramatic enough for the whole backyard. Busy being a loser. 0 goals beyond mixing cement and swinging a hammer. You could do way better. It felt like the music sank to a whisper. People turned to look. I stood there holding Amanda's drink like an idiot, waiting to see how the woman I was supposed to marry in a month would respond. She glanced at me, gave a small smile, and said, He really tries, Jess. Not everyone can live your glamorous lifestyle. Then she took the drink from my hand and went right back to chatting as if nothing had happened. I silently counted to 3, set my untouched beer down, walked over, grabbed my jacket, and left. Ryan, she called out behind me, sounding confused when I didn't stop. I just got in my truck and headed home. My phone blew up before I even reached the highway. 15 missed calls, around 30 texts shifting from, Where are you? To You're embarrassing me in front of my friends, to This is ridiculous. Call me right now. I turned the phone off and slept like a baby. The next morning, I was up at 5:30. Ran 5 miles, showered, made coffee. When I finally powered my phone back on, the messages had changed again. Now it was full-on panic and guilt. I'm coming over. We're talking about this, whether you want to or not. She showed up at 8:15. She shoved past me into the house like she still lived there. What the hell was that, Ryan? You just walked out on me. You made me look stupid. I shut the door and leaned my back against it. Interesting. I made you look stupid? Not your best friend calling me a loser to my face? Not you laughing along with her? I didn't agree with her, she shot back. I was trying to smooth things over by saying you try hard. Like I was defusing the situation. You're blowing this way out of proportion. It was one stupid comment at a party. No, I said, keeping my voice level. It was the moment I saw exactly how you view me when you think no one important is paying attention. She sank onto the couch and instantly shifted into that soft, sugary tone. Baby, I'm sorry if your feelings got hurt. I didn't mean it like that. Can we just move on? I've got that client dinner on Thursday. You're still coming, right? Wear the navy shirt. I looked at her for a long moment. No, Amanda. I'm not coming. We're done. Her face went blank. You're breaking up with me over one joke? I'm ending this because when someone insulted me right in front of you, you took their side. That told me everything I needed to know. She cycled through every move she had, crying, yelling, bargaining, then crying again. When none of it worked, she stormed out and slammed the door so hard the windows rattled. For the next 48 hours, I ignored the endless calls and essay-length texts. I went to work, hit the gym, and started packing up the things she'd gradually moved into my house over 3 years. Her toothbrush, clothes, throw pillows, half the kitchen cabinets. The ring I'd bought 2 months earlier went back into the safe. On the third day, she took the whole thing online. Posted some dramatic story about how her boyfriend of 3 years abandoned her at a party and publicly humiliated her because he couldn't handle a harmless joke. The comments flooded in, mostly her friends calling me insecure, controlling, emotionally fragile. Jess's comment was the highlight. "Girl, you dodged a bullet." I didn't fire back online. Instead, I sent Amanda a text. "Dropping your stuff off tomorrow at 6. Have my things ready. The key goes in the side pocket of the gray duffel." She replied immediately. "We need to talk like adults. Stop being childish." I sent the same message again. 6 p.m. I showed up exactly on time. She'd gone all out. Hairstyled, makeup flawless, wearing the dress I always told her she looked amazing in. 5 minutes, Ryan. Please. I gave her 5. She jumped straight into a polished, practiced apology. Said Jess would apologize too, that we could all meet for coffee and patch things up. I cut her off. "This isn't about Jess. It's about the fact that it took a stranger's insult for you to finally say out loud what you really think of me." She kept pushing. "I love you. Doesn't that matter? Love that lets someone trash your partner right to their face isn't love." I said, "It's convenience." Then the anger hit. "You'll never find anyone else who will tolerate your boring life." I smiled, grabbed the box. "Thanks for making this easier." As I headed for the door, she shouted, "What about Cabo next month? The flights aren't refundable. Everyone's expecting us." I didn't slow down. Have fun explaining to everyone why the loser didn't show up. The next 2 weeks were a crash course in social media martyrdom. Mutual friends started choosing sides. Her mom called to scold me about working things out. I stayed quiet, kept building houses, kept hitting heavier lifts, kept living my life. Then Emily, Mike's wife, called. "Ryan, you need to hear what actually went down after you left. Jess spent 20 minutes ripping you apart. Mike finally told her to shut up or leave. She blew up. Called you some blue-collar nobody with no degree. That's when Amanda finally defended you. Late and weak, but she did." She hesitated before adding, "And about the Cabo trip, Amanda's been telling everyone it was your surprise engagement getaway. She found the ring months ago, took pictures of it, showed the whole group. Jess has been helping her plan the wedding behind your back." The betrayal hit harder than anything that happened at the cookout. A week later, Amanda stormed into my office, walked straight past my receptionist, closed the door behind her. "We need to talk," she said. "The Carmichael account is meeting next week, and they specifically want to meet my contractor boyfriend. I've been name-dropping your company for months. This meeting could make my career." There it was, the real crisis. I looked up from my desk. "Call another contractor. Ryan, please." "No." She stared like I'd spoken another language. "You're seriously going to tank my career over this?" "I'm not tanking anything. You just lost your free networking prop. Good luck." She left furious. 2 days later, a text from an unknown number. "You were right. I'm sorry it took me this long." AI didn't reply. Funny enough, Carmichael still called me direct. They'd done their own research and wanted the company with the best reputation, not the one attached to a marketer's boyfriend. Contract signed. 3 buildings, 7 figures. Karma kept busy. Jess's months-long fling with Mike's brother exploded at a family dinner. Screaming, wine tossed, the full soap opera. Mike banned both of them from his house. Amanda's firm lost Carmichael and 2 other clients when her boss learned she'd been promising exclusive contractor discounts. She had no authority to offer. She kept her job, but got demoted hard. Her dad, a contractor himself, called me out of the blue. "I raised her better than that, son. You did the right thing. Respect." 6 months later, I ran into Amanda at a coffee shop. She looked calmer, less like she was performing for an audience. "Can we talk for 2 minutes?" she asked. We sat down. She apologized the right way this time. No excuses, no but just taking responsibility. She said therapy was helping her understand why she let toxic people speak on her behalf. Then she asked if I was seeing anyone. I told her about Kate, The architect I met in a woodworking class. Someone who respects hard work because she lives it herself. We're taking things slow, and it feels steady. Amanda nodded, no resentment in her face. She's lucky. Treat her well. And that was it. Clean, simple closure. Jess apparently moved 3 states away after everything blew up with her family. I don't know and don't care. I sold the engagement ring and used the money to buy a small cabin up north. Quiet place, lake view, all mine. Built the dining table inside it with my own hands. Some nights, I sit out on the dock with a beer and realize that peace isn't something you chase down. It's what shows up when you finally refuse to tolerate disrespect. To every guy who messaged saying this story gave them the courage to walk away, I'm proud of you. Grabbing your jacket and leaving isn't weakness. It's the strongest move a man can make when he decides his worth isn't negotiable. That's the story. Back to building things that actually last.